Helicopter 12-2 Night Operations. Getting cozy with your cockpit as a pre-night flight ritual. Know every nook and cranny, from instruments to switches, with and without cabin lights. Some markings might play hard to get in poor light, so be adept at locating and using them. It's like a blindfolded game of hide and seek but with switches. Speaking of lights, check all interior lights, especially those illuminating the instrument panel. Adjust their intensity with a dimmer switch to avoid glare or reflection off the windshield. As daylight fades into darkness, cockpit lights should follow suit to maintain a low, usable intensity level. When it comes to starting the engine and engaging rotors in the dark, an extra layer of caution is advisable. Alongside the standard clear, call, turn on position and anti-collision lights. If conditions allow, a brief burst from the landing light can serve as a courteous warning to others that your helicopter is about to roar to life. Taxiing at night has its nuances, too. Landing lights tend to have a narrow beam focused ahead, limiting side visibility. So, take it slow, especially in crowded areas. Some helicopters come with a hover light, broadening the illuminated area beneath, making your nocturnal taxi more manageable. For the uncharted territories of an unfamiliar airport at night, don't hesitate to seek instructions or advice. Ground controllers or Unicom operators are usually happy to share insights, helping you avoid construction zones or unmarked obstacles that could lurk in the dark. Night flying, where each precaution is a star guiding you through the vast sky of potential challenges. When venturing into night traffic patterns in a helicopter, there are some additional considerations to keep in mind. First off, maintaining a minimum pattern height of 1,000 feet at night is recommended, offering an extra buffer for safety. Consider taking the right-hand night pattern if feasible, enhancing separation from fixed-wing traffic. However, integration with fixed-wing traffic in the left-hand pattern is acceptable, provided you stick to the same pattern height. Noise abatement procedures should get extra attention during night operations, and always plan to use a lit runway for unaided approaches and departures, especially when devoid of night vision equipment. When possible, steer clear of downwind and crosswind approaches at night. Before taking off into the night, ensure a clear, unobstructed takeoff path. This is particularly crucial off-airport, where obstacles might not be as visible. Pick a point down the takeoff path for directional reference and position the landing light to illuminate potential obstacles. Night takeoffs often transition from a well-lit environment to apparent darkness, so rely on flight instruments to maintain the correct climb attitude. In en route procedures, opt for a cruising altitude somewhat higher than usual for added safety. This provides better clearance from obstacles, more time for emergency landings in case of engine failure, and improved radio reception. Consider flying close to populated or lighted areas, such as highways, for better emergency landing options and easier navigation. Collision avoidance becomes more challenging at night due to reduced visual references. Implement a thorough scanning routine, focusing on short, regularly spaced eye movements. Each movement should cover no more than 10 degrees, and each area should be observed for at least 1 second. Use off-center viewing to detect dimly lit objects and determine other aircraft's direction by interpreting position and anti-collision lights. Approaches and landings at night have their own set of considerations. Make steeper approaches to enhance obstacle clearance, monitor altitude and descent rate with the altimeter, and avoid fixating on the landing area at the expense of airspeed. Steeper approaches increase the chance of clearing obstacles, crucial in poorly lit areas. Maintain forward airspeed until close to the ground, especially when landing in unlit areas where outside visual references may be limited. While the landing light is a valuable aid during night approaches, be aware of its inherent disadvantage. The illuminated landing area might appear higher than the dark surroundings, potentially leading to terminating the approach at too high an altitude, resulting in a vortex ring state condition in a hard landing. Vigilance, thorough scanning, and a heightened awareness of surroundings are key when navigating the night sky in a helicopter. Night landings introduce challenges characterized by illusions that demand vigilant recognition and strategic mitigation for safe helicopter operations. In the case of the featureless terrain illusion, where landing occurs over areas devoid of distinguishing features like water or snow-covered terrain, the absence of ground references can create a deceptive sense of altitude. Pilots may perceive the helicopter to be higher than it actually is, potentially leading to a lower than intended approach. Anticipation of this illusion, aerial visual inspections of unfamiliar airports, and regular proficiency in landing procedures are crucial countermeasures. Atmospheric illusions, influenced by weather conditions, present additional complexities. Rain on the windscreen can induce an illusion of increased height, while atmospheric haze may make the runway seem more distant. Failing to recognize these illusions might result in unintentionally flying a higher approach. Fog penetration can create the illusion of pitching up, prompting abrupt and steep approaches. Pilots must remain vigilant, promptly recognize these atmospheric illusions, and make necessary adjustments based on prevailing conditions to avoid landing errors. Ground lighting illusions introduce potential misinterpretations of lights along a straight path, like streetlights or internal lights from a moving train, as runway and approach lights. Distinguishing between these lights and actual runway lights is crucial to prevent misguided approaches. Additionally, intense runway and approach lighting can create an illusion of proximity, causing pilots to perceive them as closer than reality. This may lead to approaches lower than the glide slope. Conversely, flying over terrain with few lights might result in a lower than normal approach. Heightened awareness of these lighting illusions is paramount for accurate judgment during night landings. In conclusion, a comprehensive approach encompassing anticipation, visual inspections, reliance on electronic aids when available, and continuous proficiency training is indispensable for helicopter pilots to navigate safely through the illusions inherent in night landings. In helicopter night visual flight rules operations, the impact of lighting conditions, in addition to visibility and ceiling, plays a crucial role in ensuring safety. The ability to discern unlit or low-contrast objects and terrain, referred to as seeing conditions, depends on natural and man-made lighting, contrast, reflectivity, and surface texture. These factors must be considered in the planning and execution of night visual flight rules operations. Night visual flight rules seeing conditions can be categorized into high lighting conditions and low lighting conditions. High lighting conditions exist when the sky cover is less than broken, the time is between local moonrise and moonset, and the lunar disk is at least 50% illuminated. Alternatively, high lighting conditions occur when the aircraft operates over surface lighting, providing visibility of prominent obstacles, terrain features, and a horizontal reference for pilot control. This surface lighting can result from extensive cultural lighting, reflected cultural lighting, or limited cultural lighting combined with high natural reflectivity. Conversely, low lighting conditions are those that do not meet the requirements of high lighting conditions. Some areas may be considered high lighting environments only under specific circumstances, such as when natural reflectivity increases due to snow cover or other factors. Pilot experience in a specific area enables the determination of high or low lighting conditions. Pre-flight planning and operations should consider low lighting conditions until high lighting conditions are observed or established to be regularly available. Night flights should only be conducted if adequate celestial illumination is assured throughout the entire flight, even if the aircraft is certified for day and night visual flight rules conditions. In summary, knowledge of eye anatomy, visual illusions, and specific techniques for various aspects of night flying, such as pre-flight, engine startup, collision avoidance, and approach and landings, contribute to safer helicopter operations at night. Further information can be found in the Aeronautical Information Manual or AIM and on the Federal Aviation Administration website.